You have been in Finland before, haven't you?
Yes, I think about 5 years ago. Was it?
Something like
Something
that.
like that, a long time ago. I've just been looking around the town. It's a beautiful town you have here. Nice weather.
Would you say if the Finnish audience differs from the one you have elsewhere?
As far as I can remember, not really. I've just done an in-store in a record shop there, and they're going crazy. The guy says, "We better leave." It was going insane.
So we have a sort of Ozzy hysteria in Helsinki today.
Ozzy Day in Helsinki.
Is it always like that?
Oh yeah, in America I can't do them anymore because the police get upset that windows get broken and people start getting injured.
And you pay for it?
Yeah.
Could you tell us about the latest record? How does it, for example, differ from the first record of Black Sabbath?
Well, to be honest with you, I decided to try and get back more to the roots with this album. I wanted to do it what's happened over the years with technology of recording, you can do so much experimentation in the studio. And on the one before this, The Ultimate Sin, it was very soft, much softer than my previous records. And this is more like the original Black Sabbath sounding record that I liked than the other ones, because I purposely went out of my way to make a heavier album, And having the new guitarist Zach, who was just an absolute early Black Sabbath fanatic, it was great because he knew exactly what I don't play an instrument, so I have a very big problem of trying to explain or put over my musical ideas, and he knew where I was coming from because of I was saying, like, the old Black Sabbath kind of feel, the early 3 or 4 albums of Black Sabbath. And even then, later on with Black Sabbath, they started to get too clever and get crazy with it. But I think it's always the same, you get a band that get a successful sound and a successful formula, and people buy that sound and that formula because they like it. Then the band want to go something different, do something different. And I found that the most obvious things that you do are always the best, without going crazy. It's too simple.
Who are we going to see with you on tour?
It's quite interesting. Now I have Geezer Butler playing bass from Black Sabbath, the original bass player, and he's great to play with, although he's not playing on the new record. He'll be touring with me, and hopefully he'll be playing on the next record. I have Zach Wilde, who's my new guitar player. My new guitar player, Zach Wilde, he's from New Jersey. He's 21 years of age. It's his first time ever on a big circuit on a professional level. He was a local guy in a local bar band. And I got Randy Casillo on drums, who's just he's been with me now for 4 years, and I wouldn't try change him for the world. He's just a real nice guy to work with, he's a fantastic drummer. And I have John Sinclair on keyboards, he's been with me now about 4 years, also he's very good.
What has been the biggest changes, what do you think, in rock business during the years?
I think that the only real positive change I've seen in the present form of heavy rock music is that it's played a lot faster now. It's like punk music and rock, heavy metal mixed, They call it thrash metal, I believe.
Well, death, thrash, speed.
I don't know.
It's divided into millions of categories.
It's just, it's getting very confusing. I've never been one to accept the word heavy metal because I don't understand what that means. I prefer to use heavy rock or hard rock is better for me because heavy metal don't the way it goes, it's like anyone with long hair and a guitar is heavy metal. Like Bon Jovi are put in the same category as and Van Halen. They're not heavy metal. Van Halen. The last record was pop. That's not heavy metal. Eddie Van Halen is one of the greatest guitar players I've ever heard in my life. But they're not playing heavy rock anymore.
It's something like Sweet used to play in the 70s.
Yes, it's very difficult to branch out into different areas if you're branded as heavy metal, because I've done ballads, I've done kind of acoustic kind of numbers, I've done all kinds of different stuff, but because I'm Ozzy Osbourne and I'm branded as being heavy metal, not many radio stations who don't play that heavy metal will play my records, and it's sad because there are a lot more people that could perhaps like not all, but I don't believe on any record that anyone likes every track on the record. There's different tracks that I like to put for different people,
heavy rock pays a lot attention to the visual side.
Mm-hmm.
For example, your shows are very spectacular. How did this start?
When from touring America, after I left Sabbath, I started doing small theatres on my own. Then it built up to the big arenas, and it was kind of like the thing to do. I mean, everyone just did it. You know, you got big light shows, and how many is Dave Lee Roth taking out? And he's taking out 1 million lights, and you go, well, I've got to have 1,010,000, you know, and he's got to have 1,020,000, and it goes on. It's like, who can get the most lights on stage? And it's like, and this time around, I said to my wife, I don't care. I said, I want a minimum amount of lights, as long as it's effective, as long as it looks good without going crazy, because the costing of taking that around the world is ridiculous.
How about the bats and stuff like that?
Nothing like that. I mean, that's. You see, the thing. Another thing that it's a like an occupational hazard now. I mean, because that one incident happened 8 years ago. I mean, that carries with me forever.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not what I really am about. You know, I don't walk around. Oh, it's Helsinki. How many bats can I find? You know, it's just like a thing. Ozzy Osbourne. Everybody thinks of me biting the head of a bat, which is good on one respect, but I get kind of tired of people saying, when was the last time you bit the head of a bat? It's kind of, you know, how many times have I answered the same question? I don't do it, you know. It happened once and only once, and I wish I'd never done it half the time. But nevertheless, it's there, and a lot of people heard of the name Ozzy Osbourne because of that incident. So it's got good points and it's got its bad points. I'm just tired of it, you know, but that's neither here or there, really.
What has been the most difficult thing in your career? For you?
Stop talking about bats. No, the most difficult thing for me in my career is to give up drinking alcohol. I'm doing well with it at the moment, but it's very difficult because when I get frustrated, or when I get angry, or when I get happy, or whatever any mood I go through, I always want to take up a drink to change my mind, and it's very difficult to do it. I did this whole record straight. I didn't take any drugs or alcohol or anything. It was just straight, and I haven't taken alcohol for 30 days today. And it's very difficult, you know, just to stop. I mean, I just came through Helsinki airport, and a lot of people drink here. A lot of people drink a lot of alcohol. We just came up the road as a guy, like, and I thought to myself, I've been where this guy is many nights, you know. And that is the most difficult thing I am doing. I do it every day, you know, trying to drink on a daily basis, which is very difficult, especially with me, because I'm crazy. You know.
What made you choose this career in the first place?
Well, actually, it was
Was it an accident?
The very original thing was an accident, because I was an absolute Beatle fanatic when I was a young boy. Beatles were gods to me, and I mean, I used to lie awake in bed with all my Beatle pictures on the wall, thinking, you know, I would imagine being the fifth one on the end of the line. And
this was in England?
Yeah. Talking to one of the Beatles, and I would imagine Paul McCartney would marry my sister. And all these crazy things would go through my mind. And then a friend of mine had a band called, The Prospectors, this band was called. And his brother was a singer, and his brother they had a Christmas party to do, and his brother got sick, and so they asked me to stand in and do it for him, and it just developed from there, really. I mean, I was scared. If I remember, the very first gig I ever did was a fire station in Birmingham for all these firemen, you know, the fire engine people put fire in. And I was like, you know, I was shaking on stage. But the same, you know, I never thought that I never thought I would be successful. And I most definitely didn't think at the age of 40 I would be sitting, you know, in Helsinki, still selling records and still doing interviews. I thought, well, I'm maybe good for one album and that's it, you know. But it's like 19 albums later, I'm still doing as strong, if not stronger than ever. And people say to me, Ozzy, when do you think it's going to end? And I really don't know. I mean, I don't know, because I've always said, as long as people are buying my records and I can do music that I like, and that people want to see me in concert, then I'll carry on, as long as I can physically carry on doing what I'm doing. I mean, I wouldn't do it if I went from the big arenas down to the small bars and I used to be Ozzy Osbourne. That's not. I'll just quit then, you know.
You have a daughter?
I have 3 daughters.
Oh, 3 daughters. How do your children take your career?
They're like Bon Jovi, my 2 little babies. I mean, every morning I listen to Living on a Prayer on the video, and it's like the VSR thing. video machine. It's like every morning it's like, Daddy, can we book Bon Jovi? I go, no, not again. Every morning I'm going to strangle John Bon Jovi and just say, don't make any more broadfields. It was really strange because my 5-year-old daughter Amy, I introduced him to John Bon Jovi. She freaked. She couldn't look. Daddy, take me out, I'm going to sleep. She wouldn't look at him in the face.
Do you think they will be musicians too? Or absolutely no?
I mean, my daughter Amy's got a fantastic voice. I noticed from an early age, she sings in pitch and she sings the right tone. She's got a great voice, and I would love her to. I would love one of them to carry on where I left off. But if they don't, I won't be unhappy. I mean, I just love them as my children anyway.
You already thought about the Beatles, and in this program we very often show some films from the 60s. Was the Beatles the best thing, you think, of the 60s?
I don't, for me, personally, I don't think there's anyone anywhere that's come anywhere close to the Beatles to Black Magic. I don't think anyone will ever come as near as the Beatles because it was just so new, and there was such a great thing about them. I mean, they're all different characters, but all great on their own as well. You know, even George Harrison and Ringo Starr were great, you know. I mean, if I was to meet one of the Beatles, I suppose I'd do like my daughter when she meets John Bon Jovi, you know. I mean, I'm glad, in a way, I'm glad I've never met one of the Beatles because maybe my fantasy would be shattered, you know. My dreams would just...
Yeah. What do you think of this second assassination of John Lennon now when the book came out and revealed everything?
I bought the book and I haven't read it yet, but I don't particularly want to. No, I bought the book because I'm a Lennon fanatic, but then I listened to what Yoko Ono had to say on a TV show, and she was absolutely right in the respect... No, it wasn't Yoko Ono. Yoko Ono was on this show.
Lennon's half-sister has written another book against that book, which reveals everything.
Yeah, but it's like, I think, why don't I let the man rest? Why does people... I mean, everyone in the world has a skeleton in the cupboard. Everyone has something that they hide, and they don't want to... It's nobody's business. And even if John Lennon was what this guy was to say about Lennon, why shatter people's illusions? Why shatter people's dreams? To me, he was one of the greatest men that ever walked this earth. He was a god to me. He'd given me so much joy and inspiration and love and care and everything that you ever want out of somebody. It's like finding out... I mean, now in America, they've got the fantasies of Jesus Christ out on a movie or something.
Yeah.
I mean,
Last Temptations of...
What is it all about? Why do people have to spoil everything? I know it's money, but haven't we got enough bad stuff around? Isn't there enough bad in the world? You know, and just leave it alone. It's bad enough. I mean, one of the disappointments of any child is to find out that Santa Claus is really their father. It's like it's just and it goes through our lives now. They dig something else up about somebody, which is scientific proof that so and so didn't do that. He was in the bar drunk with a hooker. You know, it's like I don't want to know that. You know, it makes my day easier to know that Jesus Christ was a good guy. You know, it makes my day easier to know that John Lennon was all right. You know, not to find out the last temptations of Christ and John Lennon was a homosexual. I don't want to know that. You know. It's none of my business anyway, you know. I remember these people. I mean, Jesus Christ was a good guy. John Lennon was a good guy. So why do they carry on about all this? It's just sad.
In this program, next Christmas, we have this special Christmas program where people try to remember their best or their worst Christmas. So which one would you prefer?
To me, Christmas is... I don't really like Christmas. I don't dislike Christmas. Christmas is for kids, you know. It's bloody hard work for a parent. It's really hard if you're a parent and you've got kids. I mean, kids just go crazy. It's their time of the year, but I think Christmas now has been spoilt so much somewhat in the respect that they've capitalised on all the time. And now, Christmas is over and they start, only 322 days left for Christmas. It's February, you know. What? You know, people go crazy. Like in England, they hype people up. You've got to buy, you know, spend money, and it's just for 3 days. You know, I mean, the Christmas spirit is goodwill to all men, and I think that the world should remember that. You know, that it's not just spending money, it's just remembering one time or the other that we're all living on one planet and we all should hold hands, I suppose. I don't know.
Yeah.
But it's this Christmas I'm doing shows, I'm working through Christmas because I'd rather work than sit in the house saying, oh, what can we do now, you know? Because I mean, you know, I mean, every Christmas for the last 20 years I've been as drunk as a monkey, but this Christmas I'm planning on being sober.